little bit of refresh action. We're just bringing it back around. No problem. Wait a
Oh,
second.
so,
Go, says GuMiho. Do we already pick a map for this one? Are we ready to go? Merry-go-round
all right.
is, I assume what that means.
Yeah.
IMRG. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
but that game, GuMiho just using his tech way too well. And FanTaSy just, he got picked apart. There's no real, too many other ways to say it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I don't know picked apart is so much as whittled down because it
It
seemed to
was,
always be
yeah.
straight up engagements where GuMiho was winning. And then it went from bad to very much so worse within like a minute there from
Like the
start.
first engagement, and then it just kind of not even snowballed. It was just more so like chokehold. He was like, "Uh oh, the front line has been broken. Now to retreat to my natural." But then he got sieged down. You're not mining. Then all of a sudden, Gumiho just has a better economy, can make more units, and then eventually just roll you over. And that's exactly what he did there, despite FanTaSy's slightly earlier economic advantage.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll have to
game
see.
number two.
Remember, it's TVT as well. We saw
Yeah.
FanTaSy actually go towards the bio that game. Well,
hmm
I mean, GuMiho did the same, but he didn't really get too far because he didn't need to. But FanTaSy
hmm
um, was definitely working his way towards that bio composition. So we'll see if he follows that up this game or if we see somebody, either of these players mix it up for game number two. But I'm excited to see this second game of our best of 7 TVT merry-go-round. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our players, Tempa?
All right. Well, spawning in the 2 o'clock position, representing Dead Pixels, it is the Blue Terran player, representing Korea as well. FanTaSy. And his opponent on the south side, representing Invasion Korea, it is the Red Terran player, GuMiho.
Both these mineral pairing from the very start, looking all fancy.
Yeah.
Um, but from here, I wouldn't be surprised. Merry-go-round is not a bad map for drops early on. Like you see those, pretty much the flavor of the month right now, as Pult has demonstrated, is the kind of conservative one gas Widowmine Marine drop.
Yeah.
Either you can substitute Hellions in there, maybe get a Viking, drop that down as well. But just some early low gas but high pressure drops that just kind of rely on being in the right spot at the right time, which is difficult to prevent because there's so many spots they could be that are the right spot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this, but GuMiho, this time it's going to be FanTaSy opting for the gas first, while GuMiho doing the opposite, going to be going for
Barracks
probably
into.
the Reaper and more than likely an expand behind. So
Hmm.
a little bit of role reversal here.
Yeah, I'm wondering what we will see. I mean, I feel like in TVT nowadays, you almost always see it's like, oh, Cloak Banshee, oh, Banshee on Banshee, oh, one player makes a Raven. But the gas first is very, very common nowadays. And the fact that Gumiho did open with it last time and then switching it up here, I wonder if we will see something a little different. I'm wondering, yeah, Gumiho. I'm trying to think exactly. I guess I was like saying before, yeah, who's the Battle of the Mech? But these are players that typically do it in TVZ. Is it their flavor, well, their choice of flavor for
Well, I
TVT?
think both these players I've seen go for the mech in TVT, but right now it's kind of a weird spot in TVT where there was a
Yeah.
while where a lot of players were going mech, but now I
hmm
don't think it's that common. It's very rare to see 2 mech players nowadays. It kind of
True.
bounces back and forth. Like players will go back to mech once bio versus bio gets popular, find those timings, and then once mech gets popular again, then players are actually going back to bio to find the timings.
Yeah.
And I think most of these games we're going to see my favorite Marine Tank versus Marine Tank if it gets to that point. But, of course, last game didn't even get there. GuMiho
This
not
is
making
funny,
a
right?
reactor early on.
Yeah.
For
But
an
like the role
interesting-
reversal.
Yeah. I mean, these are the 2 standard builds, though, from TVT. You see the Reaper expand and the Cloak Banshees.
Look, Banshee.
Those are the 2 like completely opposite flavors here. And last time the Cloak Banshees came out on top, we'll see if it was a build order thing or if it was a GuMiho thing that contributed most to the victory.
that Marine
that
at
Marine-
heart, you gotta.
Yeah, you,
Like, he
you
knew
saw
he
him
can't win
die
that
too.
fight, but
Oh, well, I guess what sucks is everybody gets different physics, so you can't always see like the awesome physics someone else is seeing. But
yeah.
He tried, but
He did.
it was
I mean,
pretty
you
much
gotta
just
give
to
it
get
up
that
to him,
extra
yeah.
point or two of damage. Like,
That's good
but
for
the
this
Reaper's
Hellion.
gonna get in. Oh, yeah. I think what GuMiho was. Well, I think.
Eh.
Well, I was thinking GuMiho. He was trying to dodge the Hellion, but I think what he was actually trying to do was make sure a Marine wouldn't kill him before he healed. Like when he jumped up to the high ground.
Oh! Yeah.
Goodbye, Reaper. Revenge kill right there for the Hellion. We're going back and forth.
This
It's
is
like
cool,
one of
though.
those Scooby-Doo things where you go like
Right?
Reaper kills Marine, Hellion kills Reaper, Siege Tank kills Hellion, Banshee kills Siege Tank, like going back and forth like.
We're seeing the Hellions and as well a few more Marines coming out of here from GuMiho, and he hasn't taken his second gas yet, so maybe we will see that medevac come out, and we will see some really cool drop play coming out of GuMiho. While of course FanTaSy looking like he is going into Cloak Banshees and already producing his siege tanks.
So literally,
Yeah, Widow Mines as well. Yep. I think you
oh,
called
the
it.
only difference here I see is it looks like FanTaSy is just going to go for an all-out attack off of one base. GuMiho last game, he went for a Widowmine, he went for an Expo behind the Banshee. But this game, we see, of course, is going to be all scout. This is very important. GuMiho needs to actually slap a tech lab on. He needs to get tanks. The best counter to tanks is also having tanks. If you don't have tanks,
Yes.
then you're going to have trouble. And
Oh, for
tanks
sure.
are far superior to trouble. So right now, as soon as this Widowmine finishes, we're going to need to see GuMiho slap a tech lab on, go for tanks himself, a Viking to zone this out. Well, hello, Viking. How are you doing today? He's actually starting to get damage, and we see FanTaSy already getting more damage than GuMiho did last game.
Yeah.
With his Banshee. And this attack can be extremely potent. Especially if GuMiho's not able to get tanks out in a timely manner.
Oh, can he get the Banshee though? I don't think he will. But at least he's buying the time, you know, just trying to get his
The
defenses
tank's
up.
literally just gonna show up. He doesn't even care. This Banshee's
my
still
God.
coming. It's racking
Yeah,
up.
GuMiho
He's
has
got 4 or
nothing.
5 kills. Wait, what?
GuMiho has nothing.
GuMiho
He's gonna be pulling
literally
his
has
SCVs.
nothing.
Yeah.
Literally.
And
I
the
mean,
Banshee should be
the
able to come
boys-
back over.
I think he should have
Why?
sieged up. I think the mistake here was sieging up. If he had actually just left that tank unsieged and kited backwards, I think he kills a lot more SCVs. But as it is, he's still killing a lot of SCVs. We've seen
Yeah.
12 fall so far. The turret is not canceled, but instead killed by the Banshee. GuMiho finds himself down in supply. There's no... Oh, there he uses a scam, but he's not!
He's gonna get away
Gonna
again.
finish it off. That was a
Once
little bit
again,
of a misscam. He
this
could have
Banshee,
actually scammed
man.
a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh, does he move into detection range? Not quite. He's gonna get more kills.
This is a sweet spot too if he starts targeting down those SCVs and having to waste all of these scans and not actually kill the Banshee. That is such a big deal, and it negates your economic advantage of actually having to orbitals over your opponent.
Oh, and he scans the second the energy runs out. That's really unfortunate. Literally
Yeah.
one more second and that Banshee would have been exposed to the beautiful light of day.
Yeah.
But we see right now FanTaSy has managed to establish his command center behind this. The orbital is not up. GuMiho has stabilized. But at what cost? We see definitely FanTaSy with an edge. It's not maybe the edge that GuMiho used to win the game last time, but
Yeah, not
it's
the game-ending
definitely
one.
something to work with.
Well,
Oh,
two
and-
tanks here. He's gonna be
oh.
able to
Does he see them?
once
So-
again. Oh no, the Widowmine is trying to
He's
YOLO
trying
into
to
the
fan
tank.
up, but that's
No,
actually
that
really
is
bad.
no bueno.
Wait, whose scan is that? Okay, I'm like, wait, how is he seen with FanTaSy's detection?
Yeah.
This tank is protected. Is there a scan ready? There's not a scan. If that Banshee actually came in, it could pick off the tank.
Yeah, that would have been
but-
pretty big, giving him that position that he would
Well,
be able to.
that would
push
be
right
game winning.
in.
There's no other tanks. The tank's the only thing holding us down right now.
Mhm.
But
Well,
as it stands, GuMiho is still dragging himself up by his bootstraps here, or whatever, or his Vikings, more accurately. The Banshees come in with the cloak. There's a scan. Will push back the Banshees. He's not dealing with this right now. Immediately picks up because he knows he's bought himself another few seconds. He needs to get something done. He needs it
and
now.
he's gonna be able to. There's really nothing here at the home of FanTaSy, but he actually is gonna be going back on home while the Banshees.
Oh yeah,
of
he
FanTaSy
knows. He realizes the threat
still
right now.
doing work. Yep. He
But
realizes there's nothing
we get
there.
cleaned up. Vikings coming in
I
from
think
both
so.
angles. He's gonna get one. The second one's gonna run out of energy. In just a couple seconds, the
Oh,
drop's
really
coming
nice.
into the main at the same time, and I think he's gonna be able to finish off this Banshee. This drop doing a lot, but there's already a tank in position.
The
and
tank,
GuMiho...
yeah, it just got into position.
Okay, the drop not doing a lot. Never mind, not lying.
It was like,
it
no, it was
got
like
one
perfect
kill.
timing though.
Well, FanTaSy was already rallying out to defend. He realized the only thing that GuMiho could do almost instantly, which means he'll maintain his 7-worker lead.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Are those armories?
Double armory coming out of GuMiho, and he already has a third base done, so he's gonna catch up in the workers as he does hold on. You notice how he's not being too aggressive. He did try to do the drop, keeping FanTaSy on his toes as well, but FanTaSy wasn't able to break GuMiho, you know, the way that GuMiho had broken FanTaSy in game 1. So he holds on and is gonna be transitioning into mech, most likely, as we see another factory come out.
I like that because he knows right now FanTaSy just has the mobility. When you have map control in Marine Tank versus Marine Tank, you have a huge advantage. Map control is an extra resource in Marine Tank versus Marine Tank. Sure, it matters versus mech, matters in every matchup. But in a mirror matchup with mirror unit compositions, whoever has map control automatically has an even larger upper hand.
Yeah,
because they're able to force engagements
easier and force. Yep.
Now, but the mech here throws that through a little bit of a loop because even if you have the mobility, the mech army just customarily is
just superior
stronger in the vast majority of the time. Cost for cost, like pound for pound, resource for resource, that mech army is going to get more done. FanTaSy's advantage is mobility, which of course GuMiho has his Vikings in position to intercept. But it's going to be interesting to see. Like FanTaSy doesn't have a third; he just started it, and GuMiho has already finished his and is producing SCVs. He's almost caught up. He's ahead. When did that happen?
He actually, he got ahead with that triple SCV production, just getting there. And like you said, I mean, he doesn't have to move out onto the map and be too crazy because of the competition that he is going to be going for. I suppose he would love to when he does take his third base to actually mine for it, but here we go.
He didn't expect such a manly drop here. He should have expected. That was a weird scan. Like you gotta be like, why are you scanning in this position over here? But this is exactly when mech does not have enough tanks. You don't have that critical mass early on. These drops are just so painful to deal with. See these little minor splits from FanTaSy stepping forward, but he's not actually going to kill the tanks. He's going to kill the medevacs, though. And the Banshee's here. He can't. Oh, he can't get away. Okay.
He can't get away though. They can siege up. He can try to pick it up in the medevac, but the Vikings. Actually, no. GuMiho actually has air superiority here, so he should be. FanTaSy just gets out of there. Never mind. Medevacs are pretty fast, Winter. So
yeah, they have a tendency to do that.
Oh my God, FanTaSy is being so aggressive.
It home. Yeah. But I mean, this is what you have to do. He's recognized that GuMiho is going for mech, and he's using his advantage. He has a later third base. I don't think he even knows that. Does he know that GuMiho? Okay, he knows GuMiho has a third CC, so he knows if GuMiho's allowed to mine off a third base before him, he could actually get into a bad spot. So he's just using his momentum and continuing to snowball forward. And GuMiho has to sit back. He has to put up turrets. He has to turtle. And that is going to allow FanTaSy to get that overwhelming army supply that could potentially end the game.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. GuMiho does not want to get dropped anymore. If you even look, how many turrets are being added? Scanning everywhere, actually, because, you know, GuMiho is under fire, actually, as we see FanTaSy pushing on in, and all of his units are out of position because he's so worried about this main getting dropped. Ruh-roh. How are we going to get down this ramp? That's done. Oh, there's no protection, though.
He's going to have enough scans. I think he just finished his third orbital. Yeah, it's up and running. He has more scans to banked up after this. He's almost killed the orbital. But GuMiho, I mean, we've seen in both these games so far, whichever player was aggressive on their one-base economy early on has taken the match. I don't know if that's going to continue. I think next game, I mean, that's a GG out right there. Well played from FanTaSy, bringing it up to 1-1, but I think next game we see 2 one-base players is what we see.
Yeah, right? I want to see that. We've seen very, that's so funny how they did pretty much switch positions, especially the person who was aggressive first won both of those games in that situation.
Is kind of like that nowadays. It's very difficult to discern exactly how and where your opponent's going to get going to be going for.
Yeah.
Actually, GuMiho picks Nimbus as a third map, so never mind on that whole one-base aggression. I think it might be drop aggression or something like that, but I doubt we're going to see like a siege tank push, but...
Cool.
Overgrowth and Merry-Go-Round are very small maps compared to something like Nimbus, where you can make a push happen within I'd say the rush distance on Nimbus, especially cross positions, at least like double
The cross is so
that
much,
of
dude.
Overgrowth or Merry-Go-Round. It'll depend on the positions a little bit, I think, but I Nimbus is like you could go CC first, but you might die horribly, but maybe not. Like,
Yeah. But we'll see it. We are jumping into it. Game number 3, and this makes me so happy that 1-to-1. Yeah, of course, our first other series
obviously,
had one player dominating it, and then one player almost bringing it back. But this is fight night. They are just throwing punches at each other. Like
it's a slugfest, boys.
Yep.
Right and left hooks all day. Banshees and banshees all day. Well, but actually, that's what we've seen. Though GuMiho had the banshees at the end of the last game. We saw the Blair going banshees first. Once again, getting that map control and cross positions though.
Nice. I don't think we could have asked for better positions here, for this game. You want to go ahead and take it away with the introductions, sir?
All right. In the top right-hand corner, it's going to be from Team Invasion, GuMiho. This time he's blue. It's confusing me. Oh, we got to get them to keep the same colors.
Right.
Dang.
Maybe they just.
I think it's really confusing. I think it's random, like whoever joins the party first. Anyways, in the bottom left-hand corner, it's going to be from Team Dead Pixels, bringing it back to tie up the series. This is not reality. It's just fantasy. But, yeah. I think whoever joins the game first actually just gets blue or red or whatever. So.
And then the second one, yeah.
I think most players play. I don't know if you play on green red. Do you play on green red?
No, I do the.
I do. So I can't even tell when I'm a different color, to be honest, when I'm in game. So.
Huh.
Wait, let me check if they're playing. Yeah, they're both playing on green red. So.
Oh, well, you can check that.
Yeah, they can't tell the difference. So. Oh.
Anyways, what do we see here? Are we? I mean, you did say, yeah,
and
coming out
first.
of.
Well, this will be it.
Oh, that is gonna be fun. I mean, for the gas player, most likely, but we'll see. It is cross
positions.
Yeah. And it depends also what FanTaSy decides to do himself.
I'd love to see like a Hellion elevator. I think really quick drop or like elevator plays are by far the strongest way to punish someone who's being greedy. Because usually when you're being greedy, you rely on static defense and you rely on defender's advantage. And a quick drop negates almost all of that.
Yeah.
Which is why you see, like, if he's able to lift Hellions, say, this little niche over here, just over past any bunkers and, like, where he's not prepared for it. If he gets 4 Hellions and 8 Marines in, then I don't think... It is
so brutal, man. Yeah, especially on this map. There's so much space you can do it to, and just the static defense is most likely going to be at the front, in the mineral line in the form of, say, turrets. You're not going to usually see a bunker or anything like that. It is just... You're so exposed to those aggressive kind of plays. And we'll see exactly if he does that,
He doesn't now. He does not know if GuMiho is going to go CC first, obviously. There's been no scout this game. The tell right now will be, as this depot finishes, as this starport starts, if he takes a second guess, which means Banshees. If he does not, it will probably be a drop of some kind, because obviously he went gas first. He has to go to a drop. But the gas will be the tell whether it's Banshees or not. And I don't think it's going to be. There's a Hellion started. Yeah, I think it's going to be a Hellion Marine up. This is perfect right now.
That'd be really cool, yeah. And no Tech Lab, of course, either. So, yeah, he doesn't need no Banshees. But the thing is, he needs to know where GuMiho is, right? So, I feel like in this position, GuMiho isn't really hard-pressed to know where FanTaSy is.
Well, I think the first Hellion is the scout at the moment. That's usually how it goes. You just wait till the Hellion because you want to have as many minerals as possible to get this done. He's going to figure it out. He should be able to get up the ramp. There's actually nothing for GuMiho to stop. This one Hellion could get up the ramp and actually just kill, like...
Cause a lot of trouble.
No, it could kill, like, 5-10 SCVs. If he does it with perfect micro. Because this Marine is never going to kill it. He could just kill the Marine. There's nothing to kill it right now. Okay,
no,
the Hellion.
not at all.
He can kill, like... If he just runs... Oh, God.
I think he's going to. I mean, once he gets there, obviously he's just going to stop to shoot.
And
then realize that, is he just going to be like, no?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Oh, he's like, wait a second. He's like, YOLO. All right, let's go. Well, it's a little bit late now because the Hellion's out. He's been a little bit indecisive with this Hellion. These colors are starting to screw me up a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
keep changing colors.
Yeah.
But here's the drop loaded up. We see a Widow Mine. This is the customary. This is the Pult drop right here because we saw him do it pretty much every game. Oh, this SCV. Oh!
Is he gonna see
GuMiho!
it? Oh my god! Wow!
Oh!
He boosts like as if.
FanTaSy just
kind
got
of like
honed.
You know, like when people like die to burrowed veins and then scan
it?
afterwards. That's how I felt.
And then there's 2 more burrowed veins under them.
I don't know. I mean, he knows it's coming, but can he actually stop it? Is the question. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's getting a turret up here, but the Widow Mine drops out first. Is able to burrow. He's spreading his Marines with the medevac.
I mean, the Widow Mine didn't do too much there, but he does have that medevac, so he will be able to take these Marines out. Should they want to fight? I don't know where that Hellion went. There are 2 of them. Nice
he's doing damage. Like I mentioned, an early drop, the best way to get damage done. He kills 7 SCVs. He gets out with the medevac. Oh, being all fancy right now with his Hellions here trying to kill this. Hey, he gets another Hellion, though. That's what he gets for trying to be fancy. You fancy, huh? Widow Mine connects on another SCV. Wait, did he get the medevac?
And now Hellions are going to run into the main. Yeah, it killed the SCV that was building the turret, so that was a little bit of an issue.
There's 2 Hellions actually coming into the main base, though.
Yeah,
there's nothing to test them. There's a little bit of a wall here, smartly done, but 1 Hellion, not a great counter to 2 full HP ones.
No, the Viking has to land.
13 SCVs so far. He gets a Hellion for his troubles. A Marine pops out and just guns that Hellion to pieces, but...
That's nice, though. He got a lot done with that. And
the worker count is not that bad because, of course, it's CC first. And he has 2 mules to make up for it. Don't forget about that. But FanTaSy has finished up his expo. But FanTaSy got a little bit greedy. He stepped a little bit far, and he lost his medevac to the Viking, which I think is a deciding factor. If he keeps the medevac... Oh, wait. FanTaSy has another CC.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, he added another command center during that.
Right.
And I was wondering, I was like, maybe he forgot to make some other buildings, you know, production and whatnot. But no, it's because he is going to go into a very greedy style, getting a lot of damage done off, and then almost negating the fact that GuMiho opened up with the CC first. If he's focused on re-SCVing up, well, you know, up his mineral lines, doesn't really have the same ring as re-droning, but, you know, he's going to be able to... Resaturating, yeah, right?
There you go. That's a fancy word for it. There's a scan the second after the medevac leaves. Now it's kind of like, so where are your units? There's a scan on the other side. It misses the 3rd CC. He might be able to figure it out, but, like, that's a hard call to make. I think you can't really just assume there's a 3rd CC. Oh, these Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings.
These Vikings. GuMiho, turn off your map packs.
Oh, my God.
Oh, GuMiho.
And, yep, this medevac.
Run,
GuMiho's not paying attention. One more shot. Oh! Only 3 Marines left to tell the tale of the great medevac.
Wait, no, it's FanTaSy. God.
Yeah. I know, it's screwing you up. I know.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way to remember it a little bit better, but I don't think there's any easy way, man.
Matchup makes it almost impossible for me. I actually feel a lot in the colors.
Well, think about the dead pixels, like red pixels, right? Like they're dead, even though dead pixels are black. But
real hard right now. We're approaching a level of try that is like too hard.
Because it's gonna change next game, and then you're gonna like have your mind set on that, and then you're gonna be screwed.
Let's yell at him to keep these colors next game or something.
All right.
Anyways, but we see worker count. Let's see what. Let's take stock of the situation right now. We got 1-1 upgrades coming up for FanTaSy. +1's finishing though for GuMiho. He's got his 3rd base up. We're looking at 45-55 SCVs. FanTaSy in favor. Production right now. It's gonna be 2 more barracks in production for FanTaSy. Same for GuMiho. They're a little bit behind. We're gonna be looking at armory timing. We're gonna be looking at the addition of barracks. I don't see drops happening.
No.
Viking for GuMiho, while 2 for FanTaSy.
But FanTasy's just ahead, pretty much in every aspect except
Marine tank though. We're a Marine tank on cross positions on Nimbus, and if this doesn't end with like one singular attack when someone's intensely out of position, which, assuming the caliber of these players, is very unlikely to happen, we're in for a treat. We're in for a treat right here.
Oh, I agree,
like
man.
For this. But
yeah,
I mean,
I'm pretty excited. Like this is like the best spawn positions you could ask for in this type of situation. So
GuMiho is keeping up. He's keeping up. I noticed FanTaSy, he's making like 4 or 5 depots at a time and then just like making bursts of depots, which isn't quite as good as making a few depots at a time like GuMiho's been doing most of the game, which is allowed GuMiho to catch up a little bit in supply because he's a little bit more efficient on his macro. Of course, FanTaSy still has that advantage, but we're going to see soon. Okay, the armory has started for FanTaSy a few seconds earlier, but it's going to be a negligible difference right now. Between upgrades if they keep up on him. No puns intended. But now we see, does either player add more factories or do they add more barracks? Because that'll be the deciding factor. The player who adds more factories is going to go for a more straight-up engagement with tanks. The player who adds more barracks is going to be focusing on mobility. If they do the same thing, well, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, you're right, man. GuMiho has caught up like pretty well. You know, he had his third base a bit later and took quite a bit of damage in the early game. But I mean, like, yeah, his macro is really on point here, and he's getting ready to get a bit more aggressive with his 1-1 finishing. Not like you can really just stim into a siege tank line. So I'm wondering, adding the addition of those other production facilities.
Yeah, FanTaSy's got a second factory. That's going to be a little bit to tell here for GuMiho on the other side. We'll see if he decides to add any production. FanTaSy actually has 900 minerals in the bank. He's not keeping his minerals down. And you see this supply gap, despite the fact GuMiho's had less money. GuMiho's had less money, but he's just been macroing better.
Exactly.
And that's what he's actually even on supply right now because of how he's managing his money. Which is
his macro is really on point.
He's been down in workers. He was down in production by a little bit. Like, his production came up later, but he's still actually even on supply. He's brought back from a 30 supply gap to 0.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and just
pretty
because
impressive.
of that, floating. I would say so as well. And even the upgrades, right? They're relatively even. Yeah.
Like,
neither of them have really gotten harassed in the past, say, like 5 minutes or so. And now you're just seeing them, you know, their macro mechanics is really shining here. At least GuMiho's, rather.
This is a very dramatic move. GuMiho scouts that the tanks are unprotected here. The drop is in position. He wants to fly directly into that net. That's still a risky move with the sensor tower too.
Flank, though? He could actually flank it.
Oh, he's going for the 360 no scope.
Yeah. He might do it. Uh-oh.
Yeah, here we go. Wait. He's waiting. He could just counterattack the third. I think that's a better option. Because attacking the tanks even in this position, he can zone him out in the middle of the map. I think GuMiho's trying to decide whether his best option is to attack the third or flank this army, and I think he's decided on the third. Because he has he can buy a lot of time in the middle of the map.
Though.
Yeah, you gotta he has 4 medevacs and marines that need to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is a big issue. He's loaded up. Now he's gonna be going for it.
It's drop a clock.
He's lost so many units, and he's dropping right on the marines. I don't know. I mean,
he might macro well, but the decision making.
I mean, I feel like it would have been great. Imagine if he had done it at the same time as FanTaSy was moving.
I think he should have just killed the third. I think he could have just gone in and killed the third and held the siege tanks at home.
Yeah.
And now FanTaSy just has the army that's rolling across the map. Yeah, he did not capitalize on that situation. GuMiho with a little bit of indecisiveness, with a little bit of miscontrol, and FanTaSy actually going to be the one taking a 2-1 lead. Oh, GuMiho, he had that comeback in his grasp, and
I think so. Yeah,
let it slip through his fingers there.
That would have been really nice. It was more so the indecisiveness, right? Like, it was just, what to do? Should I or not? And then he lost a bunch of stuff, and then decided to do it after he had already lost like all of his army at the north.
I really think that was the wrong choice. I think maybe it makes sense at some point, but he has so much space. Like, he can force FanTaSy to fight every inch against those tanks. He can force him every step of the way. He has more tanks, he has more marines. Sure, FanTaSy's winning the fight, but he's fighting for it. While GuMiho come in with 4 medevacs of units before there's any tank siege, there's no defenses. If he had just gone straight for the main and just cut through the reinforcements, I think eventually he wins the war of attrition.
Yeah, and it would force FanTaSy also to make the decision, which would make him more likely to make the mistake or, you know, make a split-second decision that could be the wrong one.
I think GuMiho, it needed a split-second decision. It wasn't a split-second decision, and it was the wrong one. I got to give him credit for his macro, but we saw FanTaSy there just. I think GuMiho lost that game a lot more than FanTaSy won it. True, which is sad to say, but I know GuMiho feels probably the same way, and he realized how it went down. He's picked Deadwing as his next map.
Deadwing, right? Wow. So game number 4 here, right? As FanTaSy does take the lead 2-1, and Deadwing is GuMiho's choice, and we're gonna be going into it. This TVT, I know it wasn't quite the TVT I wanted on Nimbus. I feel like it could have been a little bit more crazy, but yeah, that indecisiveness happens, and
I mean, we saw there FanTaSy at the end of the game. We saw in the APM GuMiho at like 210 and FanTaSy at 150. So obviously, like not keeping up mechanically as well. We saw that in game, but he kept it cool. That's sometimes Winter
yeah.
knows all about keeping it cool. So,
So,
but let's go ahead and introduce our players' tempo here on
Alrighty.
Deadwing. Game number 4, Team Gravity Fight Night.
Bam! It is this play representing Dead Pixels up 1 game, 2-1 in this best of 7 series. It is the Blue Terran player hailing from Korea, FanTaSy. And his opponent, they call him the Towel Terran. Will he be able to wipe this one up? It is going to be the Invasion Esports representative, the Red Terran GuMiho.
So
Is that the
Deadwing,
Invasion
we're not
Esport
cross-
icon? Like,
What?
I didn't even know what their thing was. Invasion Esports.
Um,
The thing on the command center, right? I would assume so
I
because
assume
I
so.
mean,
He's in the clan.
yeah. Oh, cool. That's cool.
It's like a Space Invaders icon.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're
that's
going
dope.
for. Dead
I can dig it.
Pixels. Okay, they really need to work on getting their clan decal. Like, all right. Did they change colors again? God, no!
No, wait, they didn't.
No!
Did they really? They did.
Oh,
You're
they
right.
did.
Whoops.
And they're in opposite positions, like bottom top of the map, too. God. Oh, this screws me
I
up
mean, you
so
know, I whispered them after the game, and I told them, I said, hey, GuMiho, when you get into the
Did
game,
you?
make sure you switch. No, I don't.
That's what I thought.
But
Oh, my God. I'm
yeah.
screwed.
Oh well.
Anyways,
It's a test. It's a test. The caster test, man.
double gas first. I'm a professional
Yes,
amateur.
this may be the one. This may be the one base versus one base game. And we'll see exactly how it does turn out. We saw a kind of really cool opener out of FanTaSy that game. I really enjoyed that. How much value he got out of those Hellions. And then the drop. Not so
feel
much out of
like
the Widowmine, but hey.
he actually did get a few kills out of that.
Zoning,
But
too.
I feel like it could have been even better executed. I feel like GuMiho dealt with it about as well as you could expect to.
Mhm.
He wasn't that far behind. And actually, GuMiho's macro was extremely good.
Yeah, pretty
I mean,
solid.
compared to FanTaSy's. We saw there that FanTaSy, he slipped. I mean, like, GuMiho caught up. There's no reason that GuMiho should catch up in that situation, but somehow GuMiho caught up in supply and promptly caught down when he decided to drop on Marines.
Yeah.
I think what he thought was there was enough Marines that, like, he had enough Marines that he could just overwhelm. But, like, 15 Marines with a handful of medevacs above are just never going to
Ew,
die
yeah,
if Marines
on 2-2.
dropping out. They're just going to
Actually-
gun them down one at a time in the air, like, before
As they
even
drop,
hit the
like
ground.
they're on their parachutes. Yeah,
They
and
can't
get
even
shot.
stim. Like, they're fucking stabbing a needle into their arm as they're paratrooping
trying-
in, but it still doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah, not really a good look, but hey,
just
you
get
know.
popped off. But we'll see if GuMiho jumping the gun a little bit that last game. So, well, hopefully he keeps his cool this next one.
Yeah. I mean, they keep switching the colors, so I mean, I feel like FanTaSy is the one keeping his cool in the cool blue, as he does go looking like he. I don't know. Do you think this
Wait,
is Banshee,
intercept?
though with the
Because
later
they're two
tech
gases.
labs?
Yeah,
Yeah, he has
looks
the
like
two
it's
gases.
gonna be
Yep.
Banshees here. He actually has some Hellions out early, which is, I mean, oh, is this Banshee on Banshee action?
He's going for the
okay.
factory.
Okay,
Viking,
okay.
rather.
This is gonna be a Raven behind. This is a defensive. You did point out the later tech lab, and that is of course because he's gonna go for the Viking first and then follow up the Raven, so he has the detection. This is actually a Banshee counter build. He goes for effectively the same resources at the same timing, but it's a Banshee counter, and we
Yeah,
should see him
nice.
going for an expansion once he has the minerals.
Nice. So yeah, he's kind of just he'll most likely be very defensive with this. Just not really much else you can do with that Viking. So wondering what we do see out of FanTaSy to follow it up though. You know, because you do defend against it, get your base up, and then where do you go? Where do you go from there?
Oh, he actually killed 3 Marines in the middle of the map, which is not an unsubstantial at this timing. And I like the choice FanTaSy is actually out on the map with his Viking, because there's only a limited amount of places that a Banshee can. Oh wow, the counter cloak.
Wow. Okay. Well then.
This
That's
could
not what I
actually
was
be
expecting.
very potent. Because he has the Viking out to defend. He's going for a later cloak, but his cloak is a lot. I guess if you see a Viking, you're not thinking he's gonna go
You're not
Banshees
thinking,
immediately, right?
yeah.
The counter
Probably
cloak
not.
is a lot of the time more powerful than regular cloak. The Banshee's actually coming in towards the watchtower here. Marine will spot it, get a couple pot shots off, not before getting wrecked in the face by the backlash rocket. I love to say the real name of things sometimes. The backlash rockets of the Banshee.
Yeah,
Like the Hellion has an infernal
one. I don't even
flamethrower.
remember. It was like the Annihilator there, whatever.
There's
it
only
was
a
called.
few I actually remember. Like I forget. I mean, Thermalance is an obvious one.
That's kind of an easy one, yeah.
The Viking has Lancer torpedoes.
What the hell?
You gotta work that in every once in a while. It's like, oh, he's firing his Lancer torpedoes onto the Banshee. It's like he's
That
not
sounds pretty
underwater.
badass, though. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really make
The
sense
Lancer
that they're torpedoes, but
Not just
okay.
regular torpedoes. You know, oh man, this Banshee, you're right, the counter cloak.
Yeah, the
is,
counter cloak.
GuMiho's way
He
out of
has-
position right now.
He has a scan, but
He doesn't even
oh, he
need
has
to
two
go right
Vikings.
now. True.
He can kill this Banshee. He's actually making 2 more Vikings. I think we're gonna see GuMiho going mech here. I don't think you don't usually see 4 Vikings unless you're seeing
Going into max.
some sort of mech play. But he's trying to
Well, the
corner
second
this Banshee
factory
right
is
now.
being made by FanTaSy, so maybe he's going to be going into
Oh.
mech himself. We already see reactors
Opposite.
getting made on the barracks, but I wonder if that's
Scan
just
the
an add-on.
intercept course, and he
Woof.
slips out of it at the last second.
What?
But the energy
Oh, but
is
he's in it
just about
still.
3, 2,
Wow.
and he gets the
There it
last kill.
goes.
The backlash rockets picking
But
up another
Banshee
kill.
number
The
2.
handoff. Oh, 4 Vikings is probably gonna deal with this. Ow!
Oh!
Whoa!
Wow.
Looks like the Lancer
Well, it gets-
torpedoes are no match for the backlash rockets right now.
I love it though.
But
I'm gonna use
wait,
it
oh, this
somewhere.
push.
Yeah.
There's
Lancer
literally just
torpedoes.
Hellions.
Well,
Literally just
this
Hellions.
is,
And there are 2
gonna
cloak
be-
Banshees and no anti-air besides the turret. What?
Yeah.
I
have no
FanTaSy
idea
has
where
way
any of
more
FanTaSy's
supply.
units are.
Okay, I guess it's in SCVs.
It's all in
I
workers.
think he might
yeah.
need to pull the. Well, he can get on top of these siege tanks right now. But
The Banshees are gonna range the group though. I mean, the Vikings
oh, that's
are
a
gonna be
lot
able
of
to kill.
Vikings.
Yeah, I think FanTaSy is gonna have to give up this position. All
He
he's
has to
making
pull
are
the boys against tanks
at least
and
to try
SCVs.
to.
I don't.
I mean, at least the siege tanks aren't seized, but I mean, it's just the fact that if he loses that turret and then has to lift up his command center, how is he going to be able to scan to deal with the Banshees? So that's why he's hugging that turret so badly, but he's losing all of his SCVs in the process.
He lost 12 SCVs.
Yeah.
What is going on? He's gonna have a tank out, but he loses the CC. The
Yep.
scan up, GuMiho. He's actually still barely down in workers, but he's gonna
It's
lose
just
2
really the
turrets.
army's quality that we're looking at here.
He's
that is
actually
gaining
just
supreme.
fighting turrets. I don't.
But the Vikings actually, gonna get taken out.
Not
I think
target
he was
fire.
targeting. Yeah.
If he had target
So
fire, I
this
think he
is-
kills the Vikings, but wow, this air superiority is just pounding the point home. The siege tanks in support, but of
Yep.
course you control
Getting
the
on the
air, you
production.
control the ground.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what he's going to be doing here. It is just a grim position, but they're even on work. Well, FanTaSy now losing a bit more workers, repairing the Viking actually. If he can get rid of these the Banshees, he'll be in a nice position. But
I
I
don't
mean, that
see-
is a rough
Loses
stretch.
his tank. That is his last bastion of hope, and it just got wrecked right there.
Yeah.
This game looks like GuMiho gonna be the one punching through. Once again, the person who goes Banshees first, taking the
Seems to
win.
be it. Yeah. Oh, he tried to land the Viking a really cute land in order to save it from the Viking shot, but nope. GuMiho is gonna once again take this position, is on the production. Anytime something pops up, it at least gets hit by those siege tanks. SCVs rushing to their demise, and oh!
I mean,
Last
like,
little Hellbat drop.
he might be able to push this back. There's no more Banshees. Oh, he needs to repair that. Okay, he's repairing. The Hellbats can actually be kited almost infinitely. He has to be very careful. He gets a tank with a
Siege
Hellbat.
tank kiting
Angry
before.
Hellbats. but
Yeah.
I would say
The damage has been
it's
done.
about time for fantasy to GG, but I think we're still 5 or 6 minutes out.
Yeah. I mean, the damage has been done. GuMiho's been mining from his natural, making SCVs as well. He's up to 38.
Hey, Hellbat drops. All right, they've worked magic before. They'll work magic again. He's actually.
Well, I mean,
I love this chase. They're like the exact same speed. I think the tank is
Yeah.
like. No wait, I think they're exactly the same speed. Are they? 2.25, 2.25. Oh, in the main base, the 4 Viking drop, pillaging the main.
Yep.
And
But they're
those SCVs are
Gatling
finding themselves
cannons.
in the danger zone.
the Gatling cannon shredding the armor of the SCV.
Oh, but the napalm spray coming out from FanTaSy, but not gonna be enough. Hellbat drop in the mat. He's actually killing SCVs, but
GG.
FanTaSy gonna
Will
be
be
forced
called.
to tap out.
There you have it. GuMiho tying things up to 2-2. Yes, yes. That is what I like to see here in this best of 7 series to close things out on Fight Night. We've had a pretty damn good Fight Night tonight as well. Hope you guys have been enjoying the games.
You don't want
I'm
one
Tempo, joined by Winter. What's up?
You don't want a one-sided fight. That's boring for everybody.
No, for
right.
sure. Like you don't
You
want to
go.
punch
You want to go 10 rounds or however many rounds they go in whatever fighting thing you're talking about. 7
Yeah.
rounds, I guess, is more relevant. But
yeah.
and you want a 7th round KO. You don't want fucking freaking
Like-
technicality,
Nah.
anything like that. You want someone to just get beat across the face hard enough that they get wrecked on the ground, but not until after 7 rounds. So let's go see how that goes.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go ahead and get some more water as we get into this game. Tempo can kick it off. Give me just
Yeah, no
one moment,
problem.
but my
I'll
throat
make
gets
sure
a little
to,
bit dry.
Join the game and then we'll do it. Boom. The J balloon. Okay, so that's gonna be sick. Yeah, man. Game number 5, 2-2. What more could you ask for, folks? Here on a Monday night. I don't know who's out there in the Northeastern, but if you're getting hit by a bunch of snow like I am, then you feel my pain. I feel your pain. Gonna be playing a lot of video games if we get snowed in. So, oh, GuMiho picked Protoss. God damn it. Well, oh well, folks. Gonna probably do a regame after this. As the next map will be King Sejong Station. Forgot to tell you that one. I was gonna keep it as a surprise, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to find more stuff to talk about as we do this regame. Yeah. FanTaSy! GG! No. So let's get on with that. Winner's gonna come back and be like, what? That's like the anti-FanTaSy GG timing. Boom, boom. Yeah. Oh, Nova War's in here. Yo, what's up, Nova War? Greetings to the War Council. My man. My man. So now we probably have to wait for Winter. Oh, well. All good, all good. Both players are Terran. Dude, you just missed the sickest build. The anti-FanTaSy GG timing.
What? Did someone pick like Zerg or something?
Yeah, GuMiho picked Protoss. Okay,
Oh, there you
ready. Good stuff. Yeah, I was hoping you weren't like making I don't know, like hot chocolate or something. I was like, great. You'll be back for at least 3 minutes. Yeah, me too. It's gonna get pretty cold. Well, it's already cold. You were here when my door blew open, right? Hot damn. Winter truly is coming, man, and I'm scared. Even though he's here right now, I'm getting like I get a pre. What is that? A little bit of a taste to see. Scared. But here we go. You want to take it away with these player introductions?
I can do that. I can do that. Do my best.
get it.
But we have here, in the top left-hand corner, fighting tooth and nail to take his position at the top. Will he be able to take game number 5? Yeah. From Team Dead Pixels. Is gonna be FanTaSy. His opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, once again taking a decisive early pressure win. From Invasion Esports, the Towel Terran, it's GuMiho. Alright, what do we... This game...
What color is red?
We've seen so much...
Is that good
I
or
don't
bad?
know what's
That's
real
good, right?
anymore. I don't know what's
Right?
real anymore.
They picked the same color, I assume.
I
Or no?
think this... I feel like GuMiho should be red.
Yeah.
My brain. He was red last game. I think he was red the first 2 games. So, good. All right, good job, guys.
Got it. Nailed it. And looks like we are looking at a gasless here out of FanTaSy. Well, we don't know yet. He could drop a refinery like right now. I think that is a YOLO move if you do it.
Yeah. Looks like it's gonna be Reaper. Well, we've seen some other builds come out of the gas, but it's almost always a Reaper early on, because if you're gonna go for the gas after the barracks, then you want to just have the Reaper out and figure out what you're gonna need to use your minerals to defend. Because of course you're gonna have those extra minerals, you're just not gonna have the gas to keep up with the tech. GuMiho, on the other hand, of course, like we've said every time, the player who goes Banshee first comes out on top.
I mean, to be honest, I would like to see one of them disprove that. It's pretty much happened every time. That doesn't mean that, of course, if you go onto the ladder and you make Banshees first, you're always gonna win. But it's just, you know,
That's
the theory.
definitely not. That is definitely not what we were saying. But
everyone's like, "Oh, thanks, Tempo and Winner."
In this series, Tempo and Winner, the professional Korean Terrans.
Yeah.
But we've seen Banshees just getting people map control so heavily and just creating such opportunities that doesn't seem like the other players have been able to respond.
It's happened every time, like just reigning supreme in the air.
He's doing it again. Look at that dash timing right there. Wow, that is insanely quick. That is insanely quick.
What is
he might just be going. He might be going for a siege tank Banshee play. I think that's what we're seeing, because that is a very, very quick gas. That is quicker.
Yeah.
Usually you see it on about 20 supply. We saw that on 17. So I think this is going to be siege tank Banshee.
This is cool then. As he's already making. Yeah, that is super fast. And we see that FanTaSy didn't go gas first. Didn't make a Reaper either. Wonder.
Oh wow.
He made one Marine.
He's shooting up towards Starport Tech as well. Yeah. So he's going for a little bit more mineral heavy version of the same thing.
Interesting.
This is a different build out of FanTaSy. We might see a Raven. I'm not sure if this is going to be a Raven. I don't think so. It might be a counter cloak once again, which was okay last game. Wait, it was FanTaSy last game. Yeah, they were different colors. Ugh.
I know.
But yeah, FanTaSy going for the counter cloak.
It worked out for him, but obviously he didn't win the game. But
he didn't get enough done with it though.
Yeah, he just didn't have enough at home to hold. I don't think he didn't have any siege tanks. He only had Hellions against a big siege tank push. So yeah, there we go. It's gonna be a Raven coming out. So playing that safer. What did you get, the Raven first and then the Viking in order to, or just
yeah, always
use
the
your
Viking.
Marines?
The Viking is great for zoning out, and like getting air control is so key in the early game in TVT. Now we have a clear player on offense and a player on defense, at least for the early game, where we see FanTaSy. He has to sit back, he has to get defense done. If he loses more than a handful of SCVs, he's actually lost too much, and GuMiho can use that in the long term. He's getting his expansion. You can see right now he's getting his expansion tucked away into the main base. GuMiho actually opting for a Raven behind, so we're probably just going to see the one Banshee. Cloak will finish. If you see this Raven, if you have the he might cancel Cloak if he sees it.
Yeah, I think it might be a little too late though.
But, it's very close. If he's okay, he's not going to have the opportunity to see the Raven. He's going to invest in Cloak. Still, like, you can... It takes a while for the Raven to get there. It depends on if also GuMiho wants to follow up, but he's still going to get damage done because there's no Viking here. If there's no Viking, then he can just do this all day. The auto turret was... Oh, wow, I didn't even... Where did that come from?
Lie. I love that position.
Oh, I did not. I didn't even see it.
I didn't see that either. I knew he made it.
I thought it was like an SCV or something. Like...
Wow. That's pretty good.
Well, that changes things a little. Like, he didn't even.
I mean, it was so cool because he did get the little bit of damage on the Marines. Like, I think you said that in game 1 or 2 when we saw something similar.
I mean, he got the auto turret
game
too.
1, yeah. Yep. So just getting that
Oh,
little
yeah.
damage, and then the Widow Mine would
That
kill
little
him.
niche spot behind the refinery where literally GuMiho cannot see unless he tilts his
Rotate.
camera. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's still near impossible to spot. Like you're not gonna see that.
No.
So
Wow, the money scan though from FanTaSy sees the double command center behind this, and he's taking his expansion of his own. So I wonder, do you think GuMiho does anything? I mean, FanTaSy does anything to kind of punish that? Because I don't think GuMiho is really gonna have much of a quality army at home.
oh whoa,
Going
Widowmine
into
looks like
this.
it connected on top of FanTaSy's army. And he has no medevacs to keep this up, so he has to actually back off. But a Widowmine taken out, but at a pretty heavy cost to the Marines right now. Very close to seeing the end of their lives. Another Banshee coming in. Looks like GuMiho decided to invest in a second. I don't blame him for that, seeing that his opponent is being very defensive. He can do so. And GuMiho has actually slapped down 2 command centers in his main base, knowing these
Yeah,
Banshees give him a lot of map control.
He's just feeling it, man. He's says, "Come at me, bro," pretty much. And FanTaSy is he's gonna add on 2 barracks himself, so he's gonna probably just try to do some kind of aggressive play. He had scanned it, you know. FanTaSy scanned it perfectly as they were getting built, so he knows that both of them are on the way.
Ooh, pretty big drop being loaded up. Is that 2 tanks? Yeah, 2 tanks.
Yeah, this is the aggressive
what does
play,
GuMiho
man. He's
have?
going.
He does not have a
Starting to
tank in
build.
position. Oh, but the Marine spots it.
Oh!
GuMiho barely intercepting with the Marine, and that pass is slapped down. And it looks like FanTaSy has rethought his entire plan and is just going to move right on back. Like the Raven and the Viking are moving
letting
back.
him
And
know, right? GuMiho, oh, Banshee gonna fly to its doom, and then a second one gonna come in, and I don't even think it's gonna get anything done, really. He needs to be careful, man. I'd be like so paranoid right now with those Widow Mines. Oh boy.
the Ninja Mines, they're out of nowhere.
Seriously.
Even they're invisible already, but like,
And then you put them out, yeah.
yeah, putting
That's
them behind.
dirty.
It literally makes them invisible. This Banshee's still getting some done. He's killed 5 workers. Is this 3 Banshees lost now? There's a scan
so.
from that. I assume there was a Banshee there. Wait, no, that scan's from GuMiho. Never mind. But the scan from FanTaSy picks up the Banshee. The scan from GuMiho confirms the army is back home. Very important.
He's
Another
making
Banshee
a bunch of
comes in.
Banshees, yeah.
Keep making Banshees till it works. Damn it, Bill. Like,
Exactly. If at first you don't succeed, try.
He's actually getting a decent chunk of. He's like suiciding for this because why not? He's going to lose him anyways. You got 10 kills now. GuMiho.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
I don't think so, man. Like,
It
he's just not
feels
getting the
almost like.
damage he
Oh,
wants.
whoa! This is an awkward little skirmish here.
Yeah.
I feel like GuMiho should win. Does he have stim? Okay, they both have stim. There's a stim. What is that point defense drone going to do? There's no
Absolutely nothing. There are no
there's
Vikings. I don't think. Actually,
Whoa.
didn't FanTaSy have 2 Vikings?
Wait a second.
Yeah,
GuMiho overstepping his bounds a little bit. Okay, never mind. Well, a lot of things just went wrong for GuMiho right there. A lot of things.
Yeah.
This could get real dicey real quick.
This is a very popular point to siege up on.
There's still
on
another
King
Banshee,
Sejong.
by the way.
Is it actually getting anything? It doesn't have any kills yet, but it will get 1 or 2. But the
speaking of
army,
getting-
I mean, yeah. Does he have enough to actually hold it home? Is the real question. His natural is getting sieged up.
Is that a double
getting?
seeker? The double
Seeker
seeker on
missile.
the oh! He tried to do a fancy pickup, but instead eats a little bit of seeker slash in his face for it. And FanTaSy looks like he has the army to push his point home. GuMiho is just being way too wasteful right now. He's going full American with his units, and we see that GuMiho just doesn't have the means to defend. He's taking down rocks. That's not
FanTaSy
the
has a
enemy
drop
should be
in the
facing
main
right
too.
now.
So all this pressure at the natural, but I mean, FanTaSy is going to be able to do a ton of damage to the worker line, and behind this, he gets his 3rd, getting turned into an orbital command. You know, the thing about FanTaSy is that he's retaining his units. You know, he's not just throwing away those medevacs when he does it. Gonna take down the orbital command at the natural. I mean, just look at the units lost tab. Almost 5,000 lost for GuMiho, and only about 1,500 lost here for FanTaSy, and that really tells the tale.
Wow, yeah, it's been getting real bad now.
It really does tell.
GuMiho's push is stalled out. He's down 60 to 128. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
It's just nope. I
Oh, a
mean,
lot of this went from this spiraled so incredibly quickly right now. Like
yeah.
GuMiho,
I mean, it was
he was getting stuff
slow.
done, but then it all fell
Yeah.
apart.
He
Like
just
a house
I mean, the
of cards
Banshees.
right now.
We saw it, like too much invested in the Banshees. Imagine if he had all of those Banshees and then was able to actually break the
I don't
siege
even
line
think
on
like
his nat. GG.
I don't even think making those Banshees was necessarily a mistake. I mean,
Uh-uh.
but if that had been
No.
invested in tanks or infrastructure, or I don't know, but we've seen this several times though. GuMiho just takes fights and just takes engagements where they're definitely not the most ideal.
Yeah.
Is like good macro, good production, keeps up on that, but continually taking fights that are just needlessly
Not the
wasteful.
yeah.
Not the best is another way to put it. It's not great.
Could be better ones, is
It's not great.
what you're trying to say. Yeah, I mean, we
But
saw it on Nimbus too, didn't we? Very, very weird decision to like wait, and then drop on like a big group of Marines and tanks after
almost every game he's lost, we've seen something like that.
has been
He also lost
down
the
to the
merry-go-round
engagement.
game. Merry-go-round
Oh
where he
yeah,
kind of like half decided to attack and half decided to defend several times.
yeah.
So all the games he's lost, GuMiho has been in. The games he's won have actually been one base pushes, pretty much. They didn't end on one base, but he did so much damage on one base that
Off of it, that
effectively,
it was
it catapulted him into a winning position.
yeah.
So does he try it again? Does he pull it together? We're on Catalina, which is an interesting map for
And he broke
aggressive
the,
plays.
more importantly, winner. He broke the curse. He made the Banshee first and ended up losing the game.
Oh, wow. He broke the
Yeah.
curse. Okay. So now, and it's anybody's game now.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? It's a mystery.
Oh.
So, Catalina, right? What were you saying? I know you were saying something about it. About it being a
Wait.
weird map. Wait. True.
But I mean, this could be the final fight of this night.
The final fight.
But Tempo, take it away.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Spawning. In the 5 o'clock position, representing Invasion Esports. He's against the ropes. But he's got support behind him. He needs your support from the chat. It is the red Terran player, GuMiho. And his opponent. Spawning on the 9 o'clock position, it is the blue Terran player looking to seal the deal here for Dead Pixels. It is going to be the blue Terran player, FanTaSy. He could do it, you know. He could do it, and he would be $60 richer. Not bad, not bad. Second place takes $20 here
And
tonight.
he beat GuMiho.
And beat GuMiho,
Wow.
yeah. So not bad at all, I would say, to put that. Because, I mean, we haven't seen too much out of FanTaSy, so, hey, I'll take him where I can get him,
Pops
right?
up, but like he's not there all the time.
Yeah.
So
And you know him, like his face, and just it's freaking FanTaSy, man. So we'll see how this one does end up going. Okay, well, once again, I think was this a gas first or was that the barracks first? I actually missed it. Out of GuMiho
oh well, you
here,
can tell right now.
most likely gas first for
It
FanTaSy.
looks like it's
obviously.
no. Well, okay, yeah, for FanTaSy, we see the barracks first here for GuMiho. You can of course check with the timings.
Okay.
But so it looks like FanTaSy, the one opting for the more aggressive build. We'll see if GuMiho steps back to something like a Reaper expand. We've seen the barracks gas into, like last game we saw the barracks gas into Raven.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Worked out really well for FanTaSy. Where I think the issue is like whenever you're playing against a Banshee player, you try to also be offensive, and then you find yourself getting picked apart from too many different Banshees, too many different angles. Maybe some oh yeah, it looks like the votes are going heavily into FanTaSy's favor right now, believe it or not.
Wow. Oh, there's another poll. Yeah, vote away, folks, if you guys see that. You know, who will win
Well,
the best
people
of
don't-
7?
The thing is, like, I feel like GuMiho should be winning the longer games, but he keeps throwing away
Yeah.
anything straight back into you. He's making some very poor decisions. His mechanics are obviously superior. Like, I think GuMiho is a far stronger mechanical player than FanTaSy, but FanTaSy is just keeping his cool. That's the difference. But it was a old school, well, I guess not old school, but very standard Reaper expand from GuMiho. He loses SCV, he sees the factory timing though.
This
which
is what
the
we saw
giveaway.
from FanTaSy in game 1, yeah. I mean, FanTaSy
Reaper
going
expand not
up.
that common, but
Not that common
now
at all,
the second
right?
guess. He needs to see if there's a second guess. Gets the
So he
scout.
does. Gets it out.
And he can get
Doesn't
out.
lose it
Yeah,
this
there you
time. Not gonna needlessly
Reapers
lose
never
it to a
die.
Hellion. Oh, actually, yeah. Well, it is Reaperlina,
Well,
so
he's coming around trying to get beads on whether there's going
wants
to
to
be a
know what
tech
comes
lab
out
or
of that
something.
factory too.
And did he get a glimpse? He saw it. Okay, he saw that an add-on was being made, and that's not going to be a reactor at this timing. So
No.
he knows there's a tech lab. He knows Banshees are coming. The Reaper has gotten all the information. He actually kept it alive too, which is a decent chunk of additional damage back at home. A Reaper and a Marine will kill a Hellion. So where 1 or 2 Marines is going to be a little bit more hard pressed to do so. So.
You know, FanTaSy has no idea actually where GuMiho is, and he never sent out the Hellion for the scout.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
So maybe he
Oh,
would
there we
know
go,
from
there
the
we go.
location. You know how the Reaper hops in, so
Yeah,
usually you
yeah.
can tell. But
I mean, that's not that much
yeah.
of a tell, but I think he'll go that
Yeah.
direction.
True. But well, we're gonna see, of course, FanTaSy gonna be the one that gets aggressive first, trying to get as much as he can get done with the Banshee. A little bit, you know, the spawning positions I think would favor GuMiho in defending against these Banshees. As if
But
it were
the
the
Reaper
other ones, he would
is-
have been able to go right there.
If he didn't
That's
have
a-
the Reaper, he would have just run by with the Hellion there, I think.
Yeah.
And seen the 2 Hellions. There's actually a reactored factory out from GuMiho right now. The reactored factory, which is going to shut down, like a tank push, is not going to happen. As long as GuMiho can deflect these Banshees, and I think he's going to start saving up scans. The next energy, he's dropped mules. He actually has a scan already banked up. This is a very interesting turret placement here too. In the main base, I think he's expecting the Banshee to try to slide by towards his production facilities instead of trying to go for the mineral line.
Oh! Yeah, finally, the
what?
Reaper gets smacked in the face by the
but you have
backlash rockets. But yeah,
Oh,
I
the
think
lands
you're
of
right,
torpedoes
that
are out.
positioning, the positioning on that.
Yeah,
is
oh, that,
perfect
yeah,
because now-
exactly. GuMiho predicting exactly where that Banshee will go based on the positions. Very beautifully done. He gets a scan.
Whoa.
Actually, the combination rockets, the longbolt missile, and the
Is that what
lands
the
of
missile turret
torpedoes
is?
slamming it home for the double, the double whammy right there, the wombo combo, if you will.
That was the wombo combo. That was like really, really nice positioning on both of those turrets.
Oh yeah, GuMiho's
Predicting the
feeling it
pathing
right
of
now.
that Banshee. Yeah, really cool.
But the tank push coming out, it has a Banshee in support. He needs the Viking on the ground would help out a lot right now
Yeah.
against this. But he can't drop it to the ground because
Banshee?
his
Is
Banshee
there
is still
another
a
one?
threat.
Yeah.
And there's a second Banshee coming up. The tank push is coming in, but he's getting a good angle. He's buying time. He needs to buy a little bit more time. He's getting Banshees himself. If he can keep this extra alive, he can keep his worker count up. He's up 4 workers right now. That's the magic number right there. If he loses more than 4 SCVs, then this has become quite cost inefficient.
Oh, and I
the
love that he's
Vikings are
targeting up
coming in.
the...
Is he actually
Yeah.
gonna drop it? Is he gonna drop
he's-
him down? A second tank though. This is getting out of control though.
It is.
GuMiho,
That second
GuMiho has to
Banshee.
figure something out right now. He's got his
Oh
Banshee
my
coming
God.
out. Oh, he needs to kill that Banshee. He gets it. No,
He does.
no cloak. Okay. We've got the Banshee out for GuMiho. He's got cloak coming up. He's still a minute out. The SCVs are, well, not doing so great.
Oh man, they're ripping
But
him.
he's got a Banshee. He can push this back. The tank's unsieged, knowing the threat they're under. He's driven him back. He kept the expansion alive. There are 2 Vikings in the main. Another SCV going to fall. Obviously, GuMiho is down in workers right now, but the Banshee is in hot pursuit. These tanks are forced to turn tail. And right now, FanTaSy can't get any more damage done with this Banshee. GuMiho's in a tough spot, but he's going to pick up a tank for his troubles. Maybe no, not quite moving
It's not
forward
bad
on this.
though, right?
He's-
Forcing the natural and getting his own up.
I'm not going to say best case scenario, but I'm not going to say this is bad. Because
Yeah.
GuMiho pretty much... There's the cloak. There's actually not a turret yet. He can kill all these Marines. He can keep the tanks from sieging. Or not. But...
This is
The tanks are still
yeah,
gonna
those
siege up.
Marines need to help. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if he kills the tank, then the Hellions move up.
Oh my God. Yeah, and he's gonna need to place a defensive auto turret there.
I don't think he can push through the turret. He has a second Banshee. He has a lot of... He does not have enough DPS, I feel, to push through 3 tanks and the Marines on
No.
top of the... So he's just going
He
to
just
move
needs
in
to
with
make
air.
a lot. Yeah, get as much damage as he can get done with these Banshees while he restabilizes. So, not bad at all. I mean, the Marines are never gonna actually be able to keep up with these Banshees if GuMiho micros them correctly. He is macroing it correctly. That is damn well what he's
He's
doing.
gonna get the reactor, which means Viking comes out, which means he can actually target down with 2 Vikings. Oh, and he's still in
Wait,
protection.
if you kill the reactor while the Viking is being produced, it actually doesn't finish the 2. It only
No,
makes
it
1.
keeps it up behind it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. But if he
Yeah,
can take,
because he's never gonna get enough Vikings
oh,
to
he's
deal.
going a little bit too deep with these Banshees. But now the Vikings have air superiority. Is there another? No turret up yet. That Viking needs to be repaired. But no.
Oh my god. I think GuMiho is gonna actually push on through here.
I think we're going.
Advantage.
Look at the Hellion count. Look at how many Hellions are just waiting.
They're just waiting. Don't let me at them.
They're so ready. They're so
hungry.
Oh,
They're ready to go, and here come the Hellions.
He's about to get GuMiho. 2 more
Banshees.
He's on top of the tanks. There's no more tanks left to be on top of. He's a very aggressive Terran, if you know what I mean.
Raises the depot, but not going to be quite enough as these SCVs have nowhere to run. The tank is going to be able to witness the falling of the SCVs. The great... Wait a minute, the Hellion just got quacked, but there was a lot of SCVs that died.
Casualty count. Right there.
Yeah.
8 to 18 workers. GuMiho able to leverage his Banshees as we see the counter cloak hitting home.
That was good though. I was like, yeah, that sucks for GuMiho, but then he counter pushes in perfect fashion.
But that was beautiful.
And
that was near
sure.
perfect execution. Like, I don't think he could have microed those Banshees much better, to be honest.
And the patience, right? He didn't just go in at first and just throw all his Hellions away. He waited, picked off some of the tanks, picked off those Vikings that were coming in, picked off the reactor, which was very important, and then moved on in for the kill. And that's a crippling blow that he did.
He's getting a few more kills with his Banshees. It's a bit optimistic, but
yeah.
At this point, FanTaSy, I mean,
God.
he doesn't tap out, but GuMiho eventually will make him. I feel it's gonna take some.
He got him in the submission hold. In the fight.
He's going for the TKO right now.
He can't reach the ropes. But that's these Banshees have been putting.
Looks like this fight might be going 7 rounds though.
I think it is too.
We're going the distance right now,
Yep.
Hercules.
It's looking pretty good for GuMiho's hopes in order to stay in it, and as well for the spectators, of course. All of you out there, we wanted this to go to the 7th round, and it looks like it could. Not calling it early though, but just saying.
We haven't seen we've only seen 1-ish mid to late game match. I want a 35-minute back and forth Marine tank TVT. What is the last? Oh, Foxtrot.
Foxtrot, it is. Oh boy.
Okay.
Things can get really weird on Foxtrot Labs.
Depends on the positions, but I mean, it's not over yet. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like,
but
obviously, GuMiho has a really commanding lead, but
he has a 3rd base. He has more production facilities. He has he has better upgrades. He has better tech. Does he still have air control? No. FanTaSy's actually going for air control. I think he wants to get like a single Banshee.
Well, with the Raven, I mean, the Raven and a superior Viking count, that is like the best air control you can get.
Sorry, Marines. Not that many Marines to be sorry for right now.
Yeah, but I mean, GuMiho's getting ready to take his 3rd, and if FanTaSy moves out, feeling like he has to get something done, I mean, that's good and all, but in a straight-up engagement, I don't even know.
He has no medevac.
Yeah, GuMiho's.
Well, I don't know what these Vikings are actually going to do with no Banshees or medevacs to support.
Yeah.
I guess
actually, this is awkward.
It's a lot of Banshees.
Yeah, but they're gonna pass each other, and not know that they're actually passing each other.
FanTaSy
Things are gonna get really weird.
Like, in a crazy world, there's a chance that FanTaSy nah.
I know what you mean, right? But this is the best case scenario, I think.
I guess this is better than taking
for
a
FanTaSy.
fight.
Yes, exactly.
He doesn't want to stim ever because that's permanent damage. But a single tank, he's not building. FanTaSy wasn't building anything.
No,
So
he wasn't.
Oh, lift!
And
lift!
he's supply block.
God! FanTaSy, do you even lift? Alright.
There's nothing that can shoot up.
That's gonna burn down though.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to. Oh, wait, he left that. Okay, never mind.
SCV's getting pulled here on GuMiho's side.
Hey,
and wow, the air superiority. FanTaSy's actually gonna come into play.
Ground superiority, though. Let's talk about that a little bit. Looks like the boys are
greater than Marauders.
Nah, it looks like GuMiho should have enough to defend back at home. GG from FanTaSy. He knows that army is far too much. And we're going
game
round
7, baby. Yep, all 7 rounds. Just what I like to see.
Oh,
hot
we're
damn.
going the distance. We're going to the end. We're going for the knockout. No, we do not accept a draw here.
No.
Even if it is a draw, we'll just do a regame until they eventually have someone like someone. Like, so
we gotta do like, the scorecards, man.
No, we're not. We're not. It'll be up to us to decide who the winner is.
Yeah. So Foxtrot is the last map because I mean that's the last one, guys. We've played on every single map in the map pool, so I mean, of course, not the new maps.
Empty right now.
Yeah, that's it, man. So Foxtrot is gonna be it. Game number 7. We've done it, gone the distance in our title match, if you want to call it. And that's pretty awesome. That was what I really wanted to have happen. Despite the other ones ending 3-1. So at least they weren't sweeps, but I wanted that real back and forth.
Of all the matches to go the distance too.
Yeah, man. So let's have this Foxtrot Labs game be that TVT that we all deserve, but I mean that we all want, but maybe not.
What we want, be what we need. I believe.
76% of the people were wrong. Wow. Yeah, you guys, man, you guys gotta believe. You guys are losing your faith.
This is such a hard call. Who wins the ace match?
Who? I don't even know, man. They've been just like you said it though. I think you've wrapped it up pretty well as far as like the mechanics and
I'm a stick with
macro of GuMiho is really strong. But some of his decisions, I mean, his decision that game and execution was pretty amazing. With the Banshees,
seems to be very strong in the early mid game, while FanTaSy decision making wise is strong in the mid to late game.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it goes. But Tempo, please give me something deserving. A round number 7, right here. 3-3. Right. Game 7. Team Gravity Fight Night. Take it away.
Woo! The moment you've all been waiting for. They've been in this epic slugfest for 6 rounds. Game number 7 will decide who will be the Team Gravity Fight Night champion. And spawning in the bottom right corner representing Dead Pixels. He's saying that he's not dead. He's an alive pixel right now on your screen. It is the blue Terran player, FanTaSy. FanTaSy. And his opponent, showing that no one is going to wipe him up. He's going to be the one doing the wiping. It is Team Invasion's own red Terran player hailing from Korea. It is GuMiho. GuMiho. Was that suitable? Was that suitable?
Did you like fully satisfied.
All right, let's get it.
Double barracks first. I like where this is going. Reaper expand first. Reaper expand, please.
Well. Similar builds out of both players, actually. Pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I wanna go ahead and like take this time to shout out Team Gravity, putting this on. If you guys want to give it a follow, make sure you can tune in.
Yeah.
Thanks to Hitbox for the sponsorship. I think we need more stuff like this, like the short show matches. Once a week, you know it's gonna be some sick players, some sick matches. Takes a few hours of your time, one day a week. And hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you guys are enjoying our casting. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the games. I know we are. But
I'm glad we were able to. That Gravity was able to get That's pretty legit.
I'm a press photo. I didn't even do that yet. There you go.
I'm digging it. So what do we have here, man? This is it, dude. This is what it's all for. The money. What is it? All for the chips, baby.
The fame.
Chips are on the table.
Money.
Everybody's all in here.
Passion.
And I'm loving it. So both went for the barracks into the gas. It looked like though. And well, first sign of tech will be from FanTaSy, as he does go and use those. He uses the barracks to make a marine, and then the gas to make the factory. While GuMiho went for the Reaper and is going for the expansion again. So,
and all FanTaSy is going up for that double gas plays once again.
Ooh. Yep.
Which means he could be transitioning if he sniffs out if the Reaper, if he gives away the Reaper. Then I think FanTaSy might decide to go up to Banshees instead of a Raven, because of course a Raven not going to be too useful. This is actually a pretty early guess. I think he's actually intending to go straight towards Banshees anyways, because he took his gas around 20 supply. With a Raven, I mean, you don't want to delay it that much, but you can delay it a little bit more. Just because you want to have gas for, well, Widowmine or maybe tanks or something. But,
he actually kept the Reaper at home.
Yeah, this is really weird. Keeping the Reaper at home. I don't know if there's like something he's reading into with SCV scouting here. And also I want to point out, like, take this time to point out, the positions they're in. The gold base becomes a factor. On the other sides of the map, the gold base is not a factor. But if a player is confident enough to secure the gold base, that can be a game decider. Because a third as a gold and a third as a blue base are not even remotely the same thing.
Gold is much shinier, for sure. And, the Hellion is going to meet the Reaper, so it does get revealed now. But he should be able to outrun it. Yeah, the hops,
this is a
man.
Weird map like that.
Hop, damn. My God. He just
but two Hellions it's going to get hot in here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he goes up that ramp, he's going to get catch a bullet to the face before at least.
Oh, the Reaper juking the Marines. Oh,
gonna slip to get that scout, though, and he will. Really nice move.
Yeah, Banshee's on the way. He sees the double gas. He sees the one base. It's already it's pretty much a giveaway already.
Yeah. But it would have been nice to at least see. Exactly. Oh, I think that Widowmine just took out Hellion that tried to boost its way up the ramp. Not gonna get anything. He doesn't even get. Yeah, he doesn't get the starport.
It's kind of weird to make a Widowmine that early on. So I'm not surprised GuMiho decided to try to go up the ramp, but maybe catch the Marines out of position, which they were a little bit. But the Widowmine said no. As it has a tendency
they literally just said no.
Just no. And then 40 seconds later, no.
That's what no.
That's a very perfectly placed turret right there, by the way.
Yeah.
Once again, GuMiho has pretty much impeccable turret placement. Look at how well. Like, he's not even gonna get a kill. He's gonna go. He's not getting anything on the board with this Banshee. Damn, this turret placement. But if he slips around to the does he have a scan? There's a scan at the net now. Yes, he's ready. Oh, and there's two Vikings. He can hunt this down, and he can finish it. There it is.
Well played. Well read, well played, and the Banshee does nothing. Did FanTaSy invest into Cloak, though? Yeah, he did. So, I mean, that's a little bit rough there, especially because he took off
we saw
the starport from the Tech Lab.
Now,
yeah, because it was Cloak.
But yeah, FanTaSy taking his Expo. Will he decide? It looks like he's going to opt for a third CC, which is kind of something you want to do in this situation because he knows he's behind in SCVs, and there's no way that he's going to actually put damage on GuMiho. But GuMiho probably not going to put damage on him when he has Cloak Banshees. No ground army is going to really touch him. So I think a third CC wouldn't be a bad move. But he's making two Vikings at a time. He's got a Tech Lab on a barracks, which it kind of implies he wants to go towards bio. GuMiho, on the other hand, obviously not a big fan of the bio this game. He's working on the mech. We're gonna see that mech. Oh, the Widowmine finishing the job the tank started. That's a very, very dead Hellion. But from here, I think we see that bio mech split, which is always really cool. But I mean, FanTaSy, what are you doing? Because he's not getting stim yet.
Yeah, I'm wondering. And
he's not getting any production. He's just going.
Right? So he's just gonna
there's a Hellion drop. And does GuMiho have enough at home? He doesn't. He doesn't have a tank.
He didn't see the medevac either. So, once again,
this is like deja vu. Oh, here we go.
It's like deja vu.
No. Oh. A little mine. Okay, Hellion's coming in. At the same time, on the other side, the tanks, the Banshee, the Vikings are closing in, and there's actually a superior Viking count right now for FanTaSy, so he can zone out. He can bully with his Banshee, but these Hellions, they're actually 4 Hellbat drop now effectively in the main base. FanTaSy was able to pull his SCVs easily in time, but he's not paying attention on the other side, but looks like the Vikings are taking air control. And it's a slugfest already, but bunkers are coming up too. FanTaSy securing his position. The Hellbat drop at the net is being uncontested though, and FanTaSy has already got 11 SCVs.
Yep. GuMiho.
What's happening?
I don't know, but 13 workers have been killed.
I can't tell who's winning.
FanTasy's lost so many workers here. GuMiho's holding on. He may be losing workers of his own as his C's tank in this bunker placement. Oh, can he get his Marines over to the bunker though? I don't even think he will this round.
Hellbat's on the other side. There's nothing. What's happening?
This is crazy. If GuMiho, I think if GuMiho was able to clean this up. Yeah, no, but like, I think if GuMiho cleans this up, he has the bank.
I think it's just even out. What is the worker count? 28 to 32. GuMiho has an edge. still more damage being. This is what I wanted. This is
Yes.
what I wanted.
Ask
On the
and you
ground.
shall receive.
Oh no, the other Vikings. I love Vikings on the ground fighting each other. There's something.
Yeah.
It's birds without wings, like slapping each other in the face with their useless.
He holds though. I mean, the bunkers really didn't serve much of a purpose. The siege tanks
He
have
holds.
been eliminated, and you know they're on relatively even worker counts. So GuMiho does have that 6-worker lead, of course, and he's going for mech himself. So I think over time, this would be favoring him if he's able to break on through.
The Thor though. Thor is here.
Thor is here.
I don't think Thor's gonna be taking anything from anyone right now. He's slamming through the Vikings. He'll slam through the bunkers. He's looking at the siege tank and calling it something that he no longer wants to see in this game. Oh, but the
you see, like as soon as I feel like when GuMiho did start looking like really strong right there, I feel like FanTaSy could have picked up and at least flew the Vikings home. I know it probably, I don't know. I can't really say anything, you know, because if the Thors had shot it, it was a very awkward position to be in.
Let's just take stock of the situation a little bit. Now the thing is, FanTaSy is down in supply. He's a little bit down in workers, but he has the production. He just went up to 3 barracks. He has a factory pumping. He's gonna have a reactor starport. Right now, GuMiho is not producing anything. He literally has no units producing. So while he's up in supply, that supply lead is not going to be that easily maintained. He decided to go for a 3rd base. So did FanTaSy. Both players, but of course GuMiho's on the low ground.
As usual, he's so bold.
So far, no +1, but +1 vehicle weapons and a 2nd armory coming out for GuMiho.
Yeah, he's going full mech right now.
He has the late game, or the later game, but FanTaSy is going to have this sick, like 2.5 base timing, where his production is just going to be huge compared to that of GuMiho. You see GuMiho adding on, he's adding on factories, but he's only at 2 factories, adding on a 3rd. If he gets another upgrade, that's going to be one more thing he's not building units out of.
Exactly. So, I mean, he's really strapped for gas at the moment. I mean, it's not like, well, he's fully saturated on both of these bases. The fact that he does have that 3rd at least at the location means he doesn't have to float it over. He's already getting the gas, so
Doesn't matter.
yeah, big Hellion run by actually.
Yeah, he gets +1, that's why.
Yeah, really nice.
+1 actually allows him 3 Hellions to one-shot SCVs. So that's why Blue Flame not too big of an issue there. But how many workers was that? Not that many.
About 6
Nine
or so,
nine
yeah.
more. As we can see in this
9 more.
beautiful, like WCS overlay.
Gotta
I love that one.
game art, yeah. But I agree. I mean, the fact that like GuMiho is already starting to mine that gas, that's no longer going to be the issue that's holding him back because he was pretty strapped for it, and right now he's going to have that superior army. I wonder what FanTaSy's goal here is as well. What his plan is going to be.
Just to hit that mid game.
Yeah.
Put a lot of pressure on with maybe Medivacs. Does he have air control? I don't believe he has any Vikings.
He lost all of his Vikings when the push. He didn't save any of them. So.
But notice, yeah, you see his supply now evening out.
Yep.
Pretty solidly.
Wow, that's pretty solid, yeah.
He's missing his depots a little bit once again. You see that. That's the tough part because GuMiho's macro is usually very, very solid. Oh, he gets the Banshee too. But FanTaSy, he's gonna peak at about 1 minute from now. He's gonna peak. When he peaks, you'll know.
Well, the production is really gonna start to settle in. 2 more factories for GuMiho.
Right now, yeah. Once those factories get up and running, it's gonna be very difficult for FanTaSy.
It gets really, yeah.
Casual Banshee, casual Cloak.
Casual Cloak, yeah. But that's good though. It's good. He sees exactly that FanTaSy wants to take that 3rd. Gets away with the Banshee as well. And GuMiho's upgrades. Okay, keep this in mind. He's going mech. He's gonna have 2-2. What is that? Oh, that's okay. That's 2-1, I guess. Before FanTaSy actually has 1-1 on his bio of all things.
It's really weird too. Yeah, that's a very good thing to point out. Like, that's what I'm saying. The upgrades, the production. If these 5 factories and double upgrades kick in, FanTaSy's lost any potential timings he might have had. But right now, there's actually only 3 siege tanks out for our mech player. There are less siege tanks for our mech player than for our bio
mech player. Yeah.
But if FanTaSy can't find somewhere to do damage in the next minute, it's going to be near impossible. He's supply blocked again at 121. He has 900 minerals with 3 depots just finishing now. But this is what's hurting FanTaSy. He was in a position where having better mechanics would completely put him ahead right now. Like, I think if GuMiho was the bio player in this position, he would be at like 175 supply. But FanTaSy is continually struggling with this,
True.
especially when you're in this position. You need to be on point, but FanTaSy is trying to maneuver around the map, and he's not able to make everything he needs at the same time. Oh, these medevacs. This is the desperation move.
Yeah, but I think that's a scan that he does in
supply
order
bot
to draw. He's gonna do the scan to draw the army of GuMiho, and then he's gonna drop right into the main. But oh my God, the Vikings though!
Oh no!
Cast those medevacs.
This is falling bad. This is getting real bad right now. It's 2-1 versus 1-0.
I think he's gonna go for it. He's transforming into Hellbats. Once he gets a good siege up, I mean, he could even use those meta. Does he have any medevacs? Yeah, he doesn't have medevacs. Thought he was gonna drop on.
Where are FanTaSy's units? There's 3 medevacs of them ready to drop in the main. There's not a single turret to defend. That is important to point out. But it looks like GuMiho has decided it's time to bash his way down through the front door. This siege tank line is so bad.
No, there is nothing here. We're gonna go into full base trade mode, but FanTaSy. I mean, once again, that is the best thing he can do. But can he actually base trade GuMiho here? If he gets into the production and actually kills it, maybe he has a chance. But I mean, just look at the absolute massacre that is happening in the third of FanTaSy, and that's gonna be soon to happen in the main as well.
That's it. I think that's it. That's the KO right there. GuMiho slamming his point home.
His hand, wound up his arm, man, like 6 times. Then friggin' closed his eyes and swung as hard as he could. And I think he connected whenever I think he did. And I think I saw a tooth just fly out into the stands over there. Somebody caught that. You could sell it on Reddit there for quite a bit of money. And GG will be called GuMiho.